been an athlete through their collegiate years. That would be really interesting. I don't know how you would do that, but that just kind of comes to my mind.
Well,
I,
Peter, I've assumed and heard if you have played a team sport, your chances of acquiring a job are greater than those that have done nothing but the academic side of things.
They are, and I agree with that piece, but I'm talking more about once they're there, what does that look like in
Yeah.
terms of longevity, your ability or their ability to move through the company, um, higher up, that type of thing. That would be very interesting, I think.
Well, I think when Ray gets on, I didn't realize this. He's worked with the Rough Riders, the Alouettes, and professional teams, and um, he's seen the pro sports side of things, but he's done much more work in the corporate setting. Like I think he's listed close to 20 companies that he's done leadership work with. So here he is taking uh, he's a civil engineer, taking that background, applying it to sports and teamwork and having success. So it depends on the company that hires you. I grew up in companies that lived on the Peter principle. You rise to your level of incompetence, and sometimes when you speak your mind and express your opinions, you're shunned and you're put off to the side and you're not respected. And that occurs too often. So I think organizational leadership is benefiting from, the kind of leadership we're looking for in coaches to develop good people, good human beings, first and foremost. And I think in the process, whether you're from Newfoundland playing in the NHL, scoring that kind of goal, those guys have character. Now, they may become a little distorted mentally because of the commitment they've had to make with their lives and the zealous level of competition. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me that they could perform that well, that hard, that long in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's just I've got nothing more. I have more respect for the NHL now than I have at any other time. I just love the way they play. It's really good. They're taking the bullshit out of the game that we grew up in, and they've got a degree of fitness and physicality and athleticism that it sets a bar, which, on the women's side, I'm saying we've got a long ways to go. And even at all levels on the male side, unless you get to that level, you realize you've got a long way to go. And so getting there is a very, very difficult challenge.
Wally, what do you mean when you say they've taken all the bullshit out of hockey?
Well, I'm just not sure what my mind was saying at the time, but the bullshit is people wanting to be given something and not earning it,
Hmm.
and creating the confusion, difficulty for the staff and teammates because they feel entitled and they've been growing up entitled.
Hmm.
In their minor hockey communities, they were double shifted and they stayed out too long. And when they get to you, I'm sure you've encountered a few of those players who uh, had to realize what a 40-second shift was about.
You're not wrong.
The other part of that too is the way social media has played a part in that because these kids have all grown up in a world of Insta, right? Insta
Yeah.
everything, Instagram, et cetera, right? When it was X, when it was Twitter, everything is instant. Everything is instant gratification. And it's also incredibly fleeting, right? That post that was on Instagram, you go back a minute later, you can't even find it because there's been thousands of other posts already over that one. So they grow up in an instant gratification world, and athletics is completely counter to that, right? Because it takes time to develop and grow and be good at whatever it is you do. But they're constantly bombarded, and we got to have it now. It's got to be now. So that mental piece of it is got to be it's got to be pretty interesting to be growing up in this age now, being a teenager and trying to be an athlete, yet trying to deal in the Insta world.
Well, you think of the classroom, and everybody wants to be have an high average. It's all about achievement and being at the top. And that's what young kids are faced with. To get into university, the academic requirements, I think at times are too high. And they might lose sight of the values needed to get to a higher level of anything. So it's really interesting. And Ray, thank you for joining us. You've got a colorful background there, and I like the shirt you're wearing, buddy. Ray, we've got a new guest on, Mike Harder. He's a coach at men's coach at Colgate University, and we've been talking about the university hockey and the perspective of student athletes versus pros and the portal. And we did talk about minor hockey kids becoming overzealous in their attempt to achieve goals, having expectations that are unrealistic and not realizing what you have to do to get there. So I'm glad you got on, Ray. I got your bio that I sent out in front of me.